Hey, welcome to the MiddleEasy Fight Fist podcast. That intro music was courtesy of Smoking Suckers with Logic, Gary Garcia. We never give him a shout out. We should give him a shout out because they have every right to sue us. I am one of the co-hosts of this podcast, Dan Lamort. Joining me are my two co-hosts, Luke Tuma.
What's up, everybody? Hello, Fisters. Thank you for listening.
And back on the mic today, Austin Locke.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Thank you, as always, to MiddleEasy for letting us rant and rave about absolutely nothing important at all.
Thank you to the people at MiddleEasy. Thank you to people at Pace University.
Yes,
for
Pace
letting us
University.
record in their studios.
This episode, we got the hint. No fireworks, no vodka, no weed.
Yeah.
Just
No presents open this
Not
summer.
that there was any
Nothing
last week
that
either.
illegal.
but
That was our
yeah.
Christmas special.
that was one hell of a Christmas special.
Fantastic.
I sent him a message last night being like, that was amazing.
The lost footage.
Yeah, it'll come out one of these days. Eventually, when Austin finally gets kicked out of Pace
Of
University.
Pace.
As soon
Pace.
as Austin graduates, Pace.
In like 7 years, yeah.
Put that video up.
Austin's sitting here in sandals. He's really
What
incorporating
video?
the New York City
If
life.
we're recording this in my dorm room at Pace University, I'm dressing how the fuck I want it.
Yeah. When I met Austin the day he moved here from L.A.,
Yeah.
and he still had L.A. all over him. And now sandals in the winter is such a New York move.
Mm.
He's getting the life.
I've got it, guys. I'm here.
He's
Have
got
you DLA'd since you moved from LA to
Have I? I don't. You've known me the whole time. What are your?
a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you still look hopeful, which I don't like.
Yeah.
But
I still have hope that people listen to
I
the
don't
podcast.
get
you know?
how
That's
you
the-
hang out with me so much and still have hope.
Because I know like what not to do now. You know what I mean?
Because,
I've learned
like,
from your
yeah,
mistakes.
but I'm like a semi-successful 22-year-old comedian.
Are you?
It's like this is the most anyone has to look forward to at the age of 22, unless you get SNL. What else? I mean, there's nothing else for young comics.
I could have graduated college by then. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like real life.
I could have
yeah. I can't wait till this
I get-
podcast is 4 years old and we have to get a new tech guy.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
Austin just up and left. We pushed him out.
Bro, I'm leaving at least in a year. Okay, if I'm still here next year, like
The
kill me.
second Chris Gethard offers Austin a
Chris
job.
Gethard,
we
if
are
you offer
losing
me
our
a job,
tech
I
guy.
would be so happy. You have no, Chris, where are you at? Shout out Chris Gethard. I was watching. Never mind, we're not gonna talk about
No,
it.
go.
but
What?
I was watching a bunch of his because he has all of his old. If you guys don't know, Chris Gethard ran the show on public access TV for like 4 years.
I have a bone to pick. I hate how they call it public access TV because my biggest comedy credit was Gotham Comedy Live on the AXS TV channel. So when people bring me on stage, it's like, this guy did comedy on Access TV. They think it's public access. It makes my shitty credit look even shittier.
That's funny. I didn't even
Rest-
think about
R.I.P. Gotham Comedy Live.
that. Rip.
I did that show with Frank Caliendo. That man is impressive. A lot of voices. He's not fat anymore. He's muscly.
That's kind of creepy.
It's
proud of
weird
him.
seeing
What do you
your
mean?
fat.
Top syndrome.
Like, they say don't meet your heroes, but they never say don't meet the skinny version of your heroes. But I want to add that in there. I like my heroes
Just
nice
sounds
and
even more
fat.
disappointed in meeting your heroes.
Yeah.
I hope my
Yeah,
heroes
right.
I think the
are
most
as fat
disappoint-
as
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
all
Yeah.
my heroes are
I love Frank
Are
with a
they?
passion, but if your number one hero is Frank Caliendo,
Who are your heroes? Let's hear them, Luke. I'm
My
curious.
heroes?
Yeah, all your fat heroes.
my fat heroes.
Besides
Fat
Dan
heroes,
Lamort,
this is a
obviously.
good bit.
Fat
Fat
heroes.
heroes.
Okay.
Fat heroes.
We're gonna-
let's do top three. Each
We should
of
have a
us.
segment.
Top three
Shit, I need to
fat
think of
heroes.
3.
We'll do what?
But I don't respect fat people is the
fat,
issue.
Let's do since this is a sports podcast, let's do top 3 fat heroes in entertainment and top 3 in sports.
Okay, perfect. Top
Any
3
sport.
All right, top 3 fat heroes in entertainment. Patrice O'Neal,
All right.
Biggie Smalls,
All right.
and Ruben Studdard from American Idol.
Well, it's easy
I
to
don't know
tell
who that
Luke
is.
does not date a white girl.
Three fat black guys that look almost identical. to
That's
each
funny.
Oh, God. And now the athletes. Also, Ruben Studdard. That just set in. It would only make perfect sense if Austin picks his cohort. What was that guy? Oh, Clay Aiken.
other.
It would have been better if I knew the name off the top of my head.
My 3 fat athletes
Mhm.
are
I'm pretty set on this list.
Prince Fielder,
Good one. He retired.
Butterbean.
So, Butterbean.
Butterbean.
Him
and,
on Jackass was great.
Yeah, and Richie Incognito.
All right.
He's a lunatic. Do you know him? He's the guy. He's the football offensive lineman that bullied the guy.
Oh
trouble
my
for-
God! Yeah, he
Yeah.
did bully a grown man.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to what happens on this podcast. We are bullying a grown man. Austin,
Am
what
I the
are
grown man
your-
in this scenario?
what-
You just
yeah.
call me. Dan?
Listen,
am I a real
this
boy?
This is a step up because on the last episode you got called boy multiple times.
I know.
Who are your top 3 fat entertainment
Three fat.
heroes?
Number one's Louis. Even
Louis?
Louis. Yeah.
I don't know if he's fat though.
He was
chubby.
No, Louis definitely.
He was cherub.
No, Louis was a good round man.
Like a pussy, 'cause I like Louis way more than anybody I know.
Really?
I find him funny. So,
That's true.
So Louis, even though I don't think he's that fat.
Dan Lamort, obviously.
Yeah.
No, that was.
I'm obese. Though, I don't count.
is there a difference between fat and obese?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's like asking if there's a difference between Louis' weight and Ralphie May's weight. Huge difference.
Ooh, Ralphie May is a good one.
So obese is when it's like really a problem.
An obese comic always looks like they got crane dropped onto the stage and they didn't walk there themselves. That's what an obese person looks like when they're in a room. It just looks like someone dropped them in, like a roller coaster tycoon.
Post Ralphie May.
Who alive now?
Yeah.
Living comedian.
I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think and hope it's not me.
Well, you're a comedian? What is that?
Who I'm trying to think. I mean, every fat comedian I know is dead.
Yeah.
Like John Panette was kind of big,
John Panette was huge.
but he's way dead. I'm trying to think current fat comics.
Honestly, can't think of any.
Tom Segura was, but he's kind of skinny now.
Yeah.
Bert
No,
Kreischer.
his new special, he's slim.
Bert, I don't count as fat, but his stomach is gigantic.
Yeah.
This is a dumb. What are your other guys? I could spend a whole.
Every time we have Austin on the podcast, we start talking about nonsense.
Yeah.
The last time we were like, what's our most played Spotify song?
Yo,
That
no,
was
that
my
was
idea.
that was Dan's idea. That was a bit we planned out before the show
Yeah.
started. Okay,
But
this
if you
was
were-
natural.
If you weren't on the podcast, would we have done that bit? No way.
Well,
There's
because
no way.
you-
We would've been like,
Luke
hey,
would have
Rick,
shut it down.
If you
like
were on the podcast, we have a
disapproving
better fucking
parent.
host. So
Yeah,
shit.
like we're gonna have Mickey Gall in here. Man. Hey, Mickey, what are your top 10 Spotify
Just punches you in the
songs
face.
2017? There's no way. Austin just brings out the juvenile side of me.
That's humorous.
So, Louis.
I was trying to stall. I can't think of any others. Patrick Star definitely
All right.
is in there,
As in from SpongeBob.
as in from SpongeBob.
Well,
That's a boy.
You really nailed it with This Is Getting Silly. He just went with a cartoon on a serious topic.
I was gonna go with Santa Claus for 3.
I'm
but
gonna
I
guess
can't.
you can't name 3 athletes at all.
No, I
Let
can't at
alone
all.
fat.
Like Barry Bonds. It's like I can name like 3 classic athletes, but not
Call
3
him
like.
fat to his face.
No, he wasn't fat. Is what I was saying. I'm saying 3 athletes in general. Is what I can. Yeah.
All right. I guess my 3 fat heroes. It's hard to not put Chris Farley up there because he was fat and proud.
Fat and hysterical.
Yeah, there's something to be said about a guy who's that fat and still does that many drugs. It's like Russian roulette every day. Who else was there? I mean, it's fat here. I'm trying to think of like real John Candy. I mean, he was fat.
Yeah.
I got so mad because someone was talking about John Candy the other day, and I was like, I wonder how fat he was, and I looked it up because in my head, John Candy was like the fattest guy I'd seen in my life, and I looked it up, and it said he was 275 pounds.
Really?
And they were like, it was really unhealthy. And I was like, I'm 300 and shorter than him. That dude definitely lied. He was tall. He was 6'4" and looked a lot fatter than me.
You were like, oh, John Candy, he was so fat. He must have been like 500 pounds.
Yeah, and I was like,
He
why is John
200
Candy
pounds
my
less than
goal
me.
weight? I go to Planet Fitness to get like John Candy now.
You're like, oh my god, if I start dieting, I might look like John
Yeah,
Candy.
that was like John Panette had one of my favorite bits of all time where he was like, because he was obviously really fat and then he lost 100 pounds.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, my friend said they could see it in my face. He was like, how big was my fucking face that I had to lose 100 pounds to make a dent? He was like, yeah, that's our buddy John. His head's as big as a manhole cover. We don't really talk about it, though. Then I got to put John Panette up there. He was one of the reasons I started stand-up.
Dude, this guy that used to come to the bar I bartended at in Boston was friends with John Panette, like roommates with him for like the longest time. Shout out to Steve.
Really?
Kind of old musician guy Steve.
One of the first times I worked Zanies in Chicago, Zanies does like this thing where the same host hosts every show for the month,
Yeah.
and it's usually like an old school Chicago guy. And I was talking to this dude. His name was Kevin Naughton. He was such a funny dude, like an old school comic.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him about Panette because John had been there. And he said one time he was here close to Thanksgiving, and John was like, do you guys have any turkey? And they were like, nah, sorry. And then like a half hour later, there was a knock at the green room door, and John had a full turkey delivered to the green room and just ate it himself. He just ate a whole turkey before he
Where do
went
you
on
order a
stage.
turkey from?
I don't know.
Like what service do you have that delivers turkey?
Meals on Wheels.
What's the most you've eaten in one sitting? Because I'm always interested, like how much more fat dudes eat than like I eat.
I could tell you right off the bat, you probably could eat more than me. My weight does not exemplify what I eat.
You don't eat
I don't eat them. I have like 1 or 2 meals a day, give or take. It's usually Wendy's and Taco Bell. But I would say
and your burrito place, right? What's your sponsored
my
place?
My new sponsored burrito place, Bubba Coos Burritos, home of the Buffalo Tots and Ghost Pepper Tots if you're feeling frisky. But yep, they're not really sponsors. They just let me eat for free because I'm poor. And no, I would say the most that I remember in past history is when I started comedy. I was selling tickets in Times Square, and there was a McDonald's there. And there's another comedian in New York City. He's one of my best friends. His name's Napoleon. And Napoleon is also he's a really big, fat, black dude. I don't know why I said also, because I'm not black. But I'm white and fat. He's black and fat. So the other street team guys were like, you guys have to do the 50 nugget challenge. So we went to McDonald's. They bought us each 50 nuggets. Now, in my head, this is a competition. In Napoleon's head, this is dinner for the rest of the week. So now I'm just going ham. I eat all 50. And I had 3 spots that night. I had to bring a towel on stage to each spot because I wasn't sweating. I was just pouring out McDonald's grease. Yeah. Like there was like if you lit a lighter to my forehead, it would have lit up because it was just grease.
That's so disgusting.
Yeah, it's in my knowledge, that's the most I've eaten.
Brought the chicken nuggets home.
Yeah. Napoleon, yeah, he like meal planned it. He had a week of meals.
So you don't eat that much?
When I'm sober, no. When I'm high, I can't remember.
He eats a lot.
So like when it says the sentence Dan Lamort eats a lot, there has to be an asterisk next to it and be like when he's sober he eats a ton.
You mean when he's?
I would say, for instance, if we're talking about last night, so I hadn't eaten all day. I stop at Wawa on the way home, get myself a nice 10-inch sub, turkey, pepperoni, cheese, simple. Then I get myself a half-gallon of iced tea. Gotta have the iced tea. Then I get Sour Patch candy and a bag of chips.
Yeah, see, that's like more than I'd eat.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but
very much same.
The only thing that was eaten when I was sober was the sandwich. Everything else was high food. Yeah. When I'm high, I don't know what full is. I just eat until
I don't know what full
I just eat until in my head I'm like that should be enough, but I don't feel it.
Every fat dude I know, like they don't. Most of them don't eat that often, but when they sit down, will eat way more in a sitting than I ever eat. Like in one sit. Like all my fat friends would be like, I've seen them eat like 4 muffins or like 5 hot pockets. Like
that's nut. Who eats 4 muffins? 1 muffin's not half a muffin's enough.
Yeah, no.
And it's not good. I don't like muffins. Give me a cake if you're gonna give me this fake shit.
or like multiple sides.
I gotta bring you guys. There's a place in Edison, New Jersey called Harold's Deli. It is known for its jumbo food. They serve milkshakes by the gallon. And
that sounds amazing.
It's funny because when I was a kid, I'd walk in there and I would be like, "These people are so fat." And I walk in there and I was like, "What's up, Joey? Good to see you again." Like now, I just know all of the fat people there. Yeah, it's like one of those restaurants where nobody moves. The fat people just pass out in their seat and they open the next day and they're still there.
That's such an American thing, like just giant
obesity.
Yeah. Like the serving things in that size, or just like serving especially disgusting like meals. Like remember when Domino's did the dessert pizza and it was just like Oreos and frosting and shit.
Remember?
Like on a pizza?
It was just like.
Why are you acting surprised?
Like Oreo frosting pie, and they called it Domino's dessert pizza. It was disgusting.
But would it have like bread? Like would it have like actual like crust on it? Or would it have
like an Oreo crust?
Oh, that sounds good.
It's delicious.
Okay, I was imagining
it's
like this
Nutella
like on a pizza.
Pizzas,
Okay.
Although I'm not a big fan of Nutella.
Or the new things or like the double sandwich. Was it KFC?
Oh my God, the pieces of fried chicken as a sandwich. See, that's where I'm different because for a fat, I have very bad OCD. I can't have like shit on my hands. Yeah. So like if I eat 1 rib, I have to wash it off right away.
So you're not a big rib guy.
Yeah, not at all.
Taco Bell does a taco where the shell is fried chicken.
I know that didn't last long though.
No.
That went out pretty quick. It probably killed a few people. That was like a few months ago. Taco put out a Kit Kat quesadilla, and that shit was off the menu in 5 days, which tells me someone overdosed on Kit Kat.
Taco Bell is especially shameless with what they put on their menu.
Oh, they don't give a shit.
Just test it out and see how many people it kills. You're right. And then
they have one of their most popular dollar menu items is the spicy potato taco, which is just a tortilla soft shell with just cheese and fried potatoes and hot sauce. That's it. How does that classify as a meal? Don't get me wrong. I eat a ton of them a week. But
have you guys heard Chris Porter's bit about Taco Bell?
Oh, yeah. My friend just worked with him.
Really? He's one of my favorites. That bit is great. The line where he's like, right, Taco Bell, or there was a study published in some article where they were like, Taco Bell's meat is 60% sawdust. And they were like, no, it's 30.
I always joked that if cops were smart, they would just put a DUI checkpoint at the end of every Taco Bell drive-thru. They would get every client.
That's just mean. Don't give them that idea.
Oh, they would just be pulling people over left and right because the amount of times I have physically walked through a Taco Bell drive-thru blacked out is a lot higher than the times I've drove drunk through. They're pretty high numbers both.
That's a certain level of drunk that you hit only if you like. Rarely you hit it, but when walk through a drive-through drunk.
Isn't it amazing though how different it is, like atmosphere-wise? Like if you and your buddies get drunk together and then you go out to Taco Bell, it's
the best place in the world.
It's a fun thing.
It's amazing.
You're all blacked out. You're eating bad food. But then if you drink by yourself and go to Taco Bell by yourself, it's now the saddest thing. Oh, yeah. It's the same exact event, but much more depressing.
No, it's different. There's, because that was all your idea. You know what I mean? You can't blame it on
You're
like.
You're sitting there like, man, Joey, this was it's just me. Shit.
There's a lot of things like that. The cocaine kind of is the same way. If you're doing coke with a bunch of your friends, it's kind of just a good party time. But if you're doing coke alone, it takes on a much more ominous tone.
I love how Luce looking at me like I know. You know what I mean? Like. Like he's.
Beer, I'm not even of age.
What is
drinking alone's
drugs?
Too. I think smoking weed alone is fun because it definitely you could hit a different type of creative level.
Weed's just way less harmful than most other. Weed's less harmful than fucking Taco Bell.
Oh yeah.
That should be Taco Bell's new slogan. Yeah. Taco Bell, weed's worse.
Taco Bell, a lot better for you than weed. Oh no, a lot worse than you.
A lot worse. Oh shit! It should be weed's new thing. Never mind.
I
fucked up the joke. It should be weed's new thing. Yeah.
Weed needs a slogan.
Yeah. Just called At Least It's Not Taco Bell.
There we go. This bit just needed to be talked out till we found where it needed to go.
You can hear me tell it on stage. It's about Mike tonight.
I do enjoy getting high alone. I do it every night. I can't tell you the last time I didn't get high by myself.
I don't really smoke.
I don't smoke trees anymore. I don't know why I said that. That sounded way too urban for my mouth.
Do your new Winnie the Pooh bit. Give him the.
Tree sounds like something you and your friends do at a Klan rally.
No, like all my black friends are like, yo, you down to smoke
reefer.
Trees? I was like, is this what we're calling it now? It's weed. I smoke wax. That's what I like, the THC wax.
What's the difference in the way it feels?
It's different for everyone, but for me, the wax gets me high almost instantly.
Remember how this is a sports podcast? Remember how we're supposed to be talking about like.
Yeah. So what about these fat people doing weight cuts? Just bring it back to MMA.
Do you want to talk about 219?
Does Austin have a story he wants to share first? That's important. This podcast?
It's not. I'm good. I'm gonna pass on this.
Not at all. You're turning it down.
I'm turning it down.
I wish we had
this
an
has been
edit
a boring
option
week.
to edit that out.
Let's do a little 219 talk.
All right. So do we want to start? We'll start at the top, working its way down. The headliner is the always wonderful Chris Cyborg versus Holly Holm. Are you familiar with Chris Cyborg?
No.
Austin. For those listening, Austin knows.
It's gonna turn into a two-man podcast with occasional color commentary.
Wow, that's an intense gaze.
That was his reaction to Chris.
Austin's picture of Chris Cyborg, and Austin looks like he's seen a ghost.
Yeah.
or a Cyborg.
Right, who do you think's got it?
Chris Cyborg looks like if a hotel cleaning lady took a lot of steroids. That should probably be edited out. That was racist.
Cyborg looks like Mickey Rourke's character in The Wrestler.
She does. I'm pretty sure this is what Joe Rogan got in trouble for, was roasting Chris Cyborg. But again, he has about all the followers more than we do. Then it's Chris Cyborg versus Holly Holm.
And people have to
I don't
listen to
know
me if
what
I
the
did.
actual Vegas odds are, but if I was everyone tells me I'm dumb, but I think I'm going to put money on Holly Holm just because she's pulled off upsets before.
Yeah.
I get this is different because Cyborg's a different type of strength than Rousey, but I had the same feeling for Holm that I did for Rose against Joanna.
I mean, you called the Rose against Joanna fight, so I'm going to take Cyborg there.
In hindsight, though, Cyborg has 10 pounds on Holly Holm, which is a pretty big difference.
Just strength, skill, consistency. I think Cyborg's got it. Holly Holm's a great striker. She's a phenomenal kickboxer, and she's pulled off some great upsets.
Holly Holmes is a good striker,
I think Cyborg's got this one.
but statistically, I'm just looking at it right now. Cyborg lands punches at 7.83 a minute, and Holly Holmes only at 3. So Cyborg is putting out double the beating. I always thought Holly Holm was one of the best strikers.
Cyborg's a different kind of animal. I'm definitely going to go with her.
Yeah. Okay.
But Khabib Barboza.
Yeah. But well, we still have what's today. Well, yeah. We're doing this in the can a lot earlier, so we still have some time for Khabib to get hurt and drop out.
Or miss his weight cut or whatever.
Yeah, that's not. I can't even joke about it because he almost dies every time he cuts weight. But
That's crazy.
if he has a good weight,
Doesn't look that big for 55.
no, if he has a good weight cut, my money would be on him. But I have to look into. From what I heard as of this past weekend, he was many pounds overweight.
Really?
So that tells me he's going to have a pretty intense weight cut over the next 2 weeks.
Okay, given Khabib makes the weight cut, even if it's dangerously, but he still makes a weight cut and they do the fight, who do you think's got it, Khabib?
If it's a dangerous weight cut, I go Barbosa.
I think
If Khabib has his full level of strength, I go Khabib.
I think if Khabib makes it into the ring, he beats Barboza, in my opinion.
It'll be fun to watch.
Scrambling's too good. He's still undefeated. I know he's been a long time off, but I think he's just. I mean, I would, if I probably would have taken Khabib even over Tony, and I think Tony's far better than Barboza. So I'm gonna.
It's going to be a good fight. Barboza has some of the coolest knockouts. Austin, if I laid out for you like this, it is a Russian white guy versus a Brazilian guy.
That's tough. That's a tough fight. Whoa.
The Russian white guy he fought a bear. He's a badass.
Yeah, but the Brazilian guy has probably been like, he's Brazilian. You know what I mean? They're just like, damn. I'm gonna go the Russian though. I think.
All right,
Yeah.
Austin votes.
I'm calling it.
Khabib.
So we got 2 Khabibs.
I'll put money on it.
And a conditional Khabib.
After that, there's that's actually also a good fight. Lineker versus Jimmy Rivera.
I'm taking Lineker.
I'll just play devil's advocate and take Jimmy Rivera just because I like him.
Let me see what they
Like
look
his
like. Let me see
facial
these
hair.
photos.
Like
Who
his
are we
facial
looking
hair.
That's John Lineker. That's Jimmy.
John Lineker's gonna kill him. Look at this guy. He's a murderer.
That's spoken like a true not MMA fan.
Like that guy.
I'm
Like if I
fans of
saw
them
him in
both.
prison, I'd be terrified.
Lineker's probably the hardest hitting 35er. You can make the argument Cody is, but Lineker throws bombs. I think he's too much power for Rivera.
I mean Rivera. I'm looking at his past few fights. It's hard. I mean, he beat Almeida and he did beat Uriah Faber. He doesn't fight as often as I thought he did. Rivera for some reason. Lineker, his last win was against Marlon Vera. He also lost to Dillish. I'm gonna go when I actually looked at the rundown of past fights. It's hard for me to not. Lineker has the experience of fighting champions.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people in MMA underestimate how important that is. I mean, I think it came through in Dillashaw versus Garbrandt. Just Dillashaw's experience made a world of difference.
That was a close fight, though.
It was, I know, but I think there's some edge that because I mean, similar to you take away in comedy something from every gig, and I think in every fight you learn something new when you fight guys that are that good.
Dillashaw could be. I mean, you can make the argument Dillashaw's pound for pound #1. He's so sure of himself. His game is so complete. Like all facets of his game are incredible. His movement's incredible, and he does. You're right about the champion thing. He kind of has that champion's surety where he's so sure of himself, and you're so sure of him when you're watching him. He has that. Holloway has that. Classic Anderson Silva, John Jones both have that. Where it's kind
it's
of
like one of those things that you can't really teach.
No,
I think it
you're
just comes over a time of.
Yeah, McGregor's got it too. It's kind of just being solid in like they're just so sure of themselves. They're so ready for whatever's gonna be thrown at them. We just kind of got on this Dillashaw dick sucking train. But
I feel like every episode we end up coming down talking to Dillashaw.
He's amazing.
Austin kind of looks like a stretched out Dillashaw.
Yeah, he does. He looks.
Let me see a photo. Let's see this guy.
Like a scar tissue less.
Hey, intern, can you
Dillashaw.
pull up? Oh wait, we have no one
Yeah.
because we're poor.
Yeah,
Next
interns
fight.
are free, I think. Isn't that the whole point?
Next fight, Carla Esparza. They are free, but I can't offer any college credit unless they go to Pace University.
And that's they conveniently go to the school that I go to.
Carla
which is
Esparza
Pace.
versus Cynthia Calvillo. I don't know much about this. I gotta be honest. We run an MMA podcast, but I'm not an expert in anything. Again, if we're going off of experience, Carla, I've seen her on a lot more cards. I think I just spoke out of my ass. I don't know why I said that.
nothing to add. It's a deep cut women's strawweight fight. I have no idea.
To be honest, though, I mean, the what stands out to me about what's her name about Carla is that Carla on the Ultimate Fighter did beat Rose.
Yeah.
Which says a lot, and then she went on to lose to Joanna. So again, it's that whole thing of fighting. Big names. I feel like as of late, championship belts have been changing hands a lot in with the women's division.
Yeah.
Especially after Joanna lost. But yeah, I personally think Carla will win that fight. Now I'm really excited to see Condit fight.
I love Condit, dude.
I'm really excited to see him fight.
So who was his last fight against?
Damien.
Yeah.
He fought him over a year ago. He fought him in August of 2016.
I love Condit.
So it's been a long time.
The amount of strikes he throws, his movement, he's got that whole Ido Portal movement, the hippie training that McGregor went through.
I mean, if you look at his
Great
last
to watch.
4 fights, I mean, he lost to Damien, which is acceptable. He lost to Lawler, which was a battle. He beat Alves, and then he lost to Woodley. So, I mean, he's also fought, Hendricks, GSP. He's fought them all.
Yeah. And
Diaz.
You think he beats Magny? Because I'm going with Condit. But
I love Condit. He's one of those guys that I came up watching, and it's hard for me to not root for him.
Yeah, he's great.
But again, on the other side, I mean, Magny's a Brooklyn dude. It's hard to not pull from when we're recording at the Pace University.
Yeah, we have a...
Which is right across the river from Brooklyn.
We're much more likely to get Magny on the podcast. Maybe we should go Magny in this one.
Yeah, I mean, Magny also did beat Gastelum. He beat Hector Lombard. He beat Johnny Hendricks. He lost to RDA in his last fight in September. I don't know. I think if I had to put money on it, Condit. But if we're repping New York, got to go with Magny. I feel like we're adding nothing to this card. But we're just giving our unprofessional opinions.
I'm going to go Condit. I think
After this, you got the prelims. I mean, you got Dan Hooker fighting, who I know nothing besides him, minus that his last name is Hooker, so I have to root for him because that's a cool last name.
Louis Smolka's good.
Yeah, Rick Glenn's fighting, too. He's fighting Miles Jury. Miles is fucking intense, man.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He lost to Cowboy, right?
I believe so.
What I'm more excited about is UFC 220, which we don't have to even break down. But friend of the podcast is actually on the main card, Shane Borgios.
Hell yeah. Who's Shane fighting at 220?
Calvin Kattar.
What's the 220 lineup? Are we gonna go deep into it?
No, I mean, the basic is Stipe versus Nagano, which is going to be an intense fight.
Then,
Cormier versus wife beater Volkan. What is with Cormier just constantly fighting terrible people? John Jones was a goddamn piece of shit. Then you got Volkan, who literally Volkan was going to get put away for 15 years, and then magically is still fighting on UFC 220. What is this that you could take down a comic with one article, but this guy literally beats his wife or girlfriend? I don't know who he beat. I assume it's a woman because he looks like a guy who would beat a woman.
I think it's because it's more expected from someone that beats the shit out of people for a living, as opposed to the TJ Miller thing where you don't expect the guy from Yogi Bear 3D to be a villain.
Yeah. Miss, who hurt you? The Mucinex guy. Can you be more clear? No, the voice of the Mucinex guy.
Who hurt you?
That's got to be a terrible nightmare. That's got to be the worst nightmare.
Are you just watching TV late at night and it comes on?
Hey, do you have mucus? Oh, God, this should be edited out. Again, we are very sorry for whoever TJ Miller hurt.
Yeah, no, he's...
I have one of my favorite... The first time I met TJ, we were at the New York Comedy Club. It was Roast Battle. So before Roast Battle, 3 comics go up and do time. And that night I was there, and Nick Vatterott and TJ Miller dropped in to do time. And Nick's an old friend of mine. He was a really good New York comic. He moved to L.A., lives out there now. He wrote for that. He's TJ's opener. And so... Fun fact, I mean, in comedy, like, we all have those cool stories of people who helped us.
Yeah.
There's a club in New York called Stand Up New York. The first time I ever had a real spot there. So not a guest spot and not a check spot. A check spot is where they drop the checks on the comic, and you don't really get a good set in because everyone's paying their bill. So I was supposed to have a regular set. I'm about to go up. The owner comes up to Nick and says, hey, we're going to drop checks on this kid just because he's new here and we could just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And then Nick goes, yeah, whatever. And then Nick goes on stage and does 15 minutes and eats the entire check himself. And then brings me up, and he's like, I didn't want you to have to do those checks. You deserve the spot.
That's awesome.
And I was like,
That's so
that was
cool.
one of my favorite stories. He was so nice, so we became close after that.
That's great.
So he was in town with TJ, and we were hanging out. Then we went over to a Deli, which is around the corner from New York Comedy Club. So we're in there, and all we needed to buy was cigarettes. So we walk in, and it was like something out of the Twilight, where the Indian dudes who own the deli were fighting with 2 black dudes who were just fighting really bad, yelling at each other. It was about to get physical. Next thing you know, a roach runs out on the tiles, and the black kid steps on it, and he gets down to take a picture. He's like, I'm going to take a picture of this roach, and I'm going to put it on your website. Then the Indian guy says the most baller thing. He's like, make sure it's high quality so everyone could see it. and then TJ just goes, what is happening? And then the black guy looks up, and he goes, oh, shit, you're TJ Miller. And then TJ just goes, I'm done. And he just left.
I saw him in they were telling like fun-loving, cheery TJ Miller stories, he was at a Hot Soup in Midtown, it was a bar show, and there was a child in the audience because they let all ages in. He was like 10 years old, and TJ was like halfway through his set, and he goes, "Oh, there's a child in the audience." And he like points over to the kid. The kid's like a 10-year-old, and everybody starts clapping, and it was like, "Ooh!" And it's like this nice cheery moment where I was like, "Oh, it's so cool. There's like a kid in there," and he goes, But I still am gonna keep my promise that I made to you guys that I'm gonna be so funny that I'll blow your dicks right out of your ass. he just got like super vulgar, and he continued with it for like 4 minutes. I was fucking losing it.
That's hysterical.
But, yeah, turns out he's a.
Yep, turns out he's a piece of shit.
Piece of garbage. So.
I guess that's why they say don't meet your heroes, because you meet them and you really like them. Then you find out behind the scenes they're not a hero.
Yeah, dude,
that's what they say. That's yeah.
I'm not that good with words.
Yeah,
DeVry didn't teach me much.
That's a pretty long, motto.
Yeah, I'm actually getting T-shirts made up for it.
It's
So
a pretty long gem of wisdom.
it's my new merch.
Don't meet heroes, because like you meet them and then you're cool and then you're like in the bodega.
And then you find out they put
your little tattoo right here.
Yeah, you find out they put a beer bottle where it doesn't belong, and it's not a good T-shirt.
Yeah,
it's more a public service announcement.
No good.
That's why here at MiddleEasy.
Chris Gethard, there's no way Chris Gethard goes down. He's too much of a sweetheart.
Yeah, probably not. I'm not. You can't say anything, because like you never. No, actually, no. I'm gonna say that Chris Gethard definitely didn't do.
I would say no way.
No, because Chris Gethard is the nicest dude.
That seems like a safe bet.
No, I feel like that's definitely Chris Gethard and then Gerard are my two, and I feel like they're both pretty safe. They seem like pretty good. They both seem like
Fingers crossed, knock on wood.
I had tweeted Doug Stanhope because Doug runs the celebrity death pool. Yeah. And I so badly want to start a celebrity harassment pool.
That's funny.
But it's very dark. But what I actually want to do, it sounds so cheesy and pandering, but the only way to make it socially acceptable is half of the winnings have to go towards some type of like victim charity.
I don't think that's cheesy and pandering. It's a pretty good idea.
I like how when you said that you turned into Whitey Duvall.
I don't think. That's a technical foul.
No, but I do think that's the only way to make it socially acceptable. But I mean, that would be a really good idea. Because a lot of people are going down right now.
The problem would be is that someone would bet a lot of money against someone. Like that gives like incentive for people to like start like faking it almost.
I have this weird suspicion about Jared from Subway.
Oh, do you? No, but that guy's so innocent.
Up to something.
Dude, he's not a big enough celebrity to be up to something. What do you?
I've had my eye on Ronald McDonald for a while now.
Yeah.
The next one's gonna go down.
Yeah, who would have thought that out of all the mascots, Jared from Subway is the first to like be an offender? You know?
We're at the point
Jared
right.
From Subway's a creep, but the Hamburglers.
Right? Exactly.
A free man.
We're at the point right now in entertainment where if like a comic killed somebody, they'd be like, yeah, but did he like touch them?
Yeah.
Wait, he didn't? So just murder.
Just.
Well, I mean, what can we do?
Murder's not the hot button issue right now.
We've all had some bad days and we got to let it slip. But as long as he didn't touch him.
So what you're saying is it's a good time to be a murderer.
Yes, it is.
The world's never been more pro-murder, so.
I don't know if we should endorse this. Sorry, MiddleEasy.
You guys can't see it, but Dan is currently like tapping his pocket knife against his, and he just slammed it into not my table because that would be at Pace University that I'm not about to admit.
I have this new weird habit where I pull out a switchblade and just stab it into tables I'm sitting at.
You're so edgy.
No, it's not.
He's like the kid in middle school who like thinks he's so like wears like the trench coat and like the.
Never owned a trench coat, but there's just something fun about scaring the shit out of someone that you know, of course. If you don't know them, it's a bold move.
Just jabbing a knife into a table.
Wow, you look like the guy pulling the sword out of the stone. You are now the rightful owner.
Thank you. I'll keep it.
Of the $8 switchblade that I got in Amish country in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Do you
Am I Amish? Yes.
Around, but do you want for our predictions for these UFC events? Do you want to like keep tallies or something like that?
We should. I think after we should write down predictions and just. That way it eats time on a podcast to not actually have to put out creative content.
So I got...
That's the goal. That's why we made a podcast.
Cyborg, Condit, Khabib.
We'll start next week.
Wait, let me see the photo. No, I want to make... Can I? I want to see the photos of them. I want to make predictions off of what they look like.
So I got Cyborg, Khabib, Lineker, Condit, and I guess I'll go Carlos Esparza as far as the main card goes.
Oh, no, these are just names. I need photos.
No, go off names.
Fine, we'll go off names. No, fine, we're going off names.
Yeah,
we're going off names.
This is worse than.
Okay, number one is obviously Cyborg. He's a cyborg. Number two, I'm gonna go Edson Barboza because I can't pronounce the other guy's name. 3, John Lineker because I said before that he looks like a murderer, and that's dope. Next one, Cynthia Calvillo because I appreciate the like the CC thing, like the what's the word? Alliteration. Yeah. And then 4, I'm gonna go with Neil Magny because come on, Magny, like come on.
And he's a Brooklyn boy.
Is he? Oh, I picked right. What up? So those are the official Austin picks.
Yeah, that's what we should do. Those are the Austin locked up picks. He locked up those.
I locked up those picks. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a segment. Locked up picks.
Locked up picks.
My pick, I would say, Ellen DeGeneres for the celebrity harassment pool. Ellen's going down. I think from what I hear, I don't want to spread any rumors, but I just really assume she's a miserable person.
Her wife is so hot.
That's not what this is about. That's not good. That's not good for the current climate.
That's just what
we are pro women here.
You think
minus the fact that
Ellen isn't.
And then I would say.
Ellen seems like a sweetheart.
Yeah, have you seen?
I would say Gary Busey, if I had to put money, based off of facial features alone, and the fact that he got kicked off the Celebrity Apprentice for sexual harassment, which says a lot because Trump sexually harasses people, and he didn't.
Well, hot take here, guys. Trump sexually harasses.
Hot take here. Our president is not like that much.
What?
But we're at NYU's and Pace.
At Pace.
So NYU's Pace University.
We're fully at Pace.
Austin and I gave our picks so we could like tally them all up, and you're like, my pick is Ellen DeGeneres for the celebrity sex.
Yeah, I honestly
he doesn't want to lose to me.
He immediately just geared it back towards.
Dan knows that my picks are definitely better than his. He's gonna be embarrassed if.
So I go Holly Holm. I don't want to, but I think she's gonna. Actually, no, I think Cyborg's gonna win, but I'm going Holly Holm just because I like her. Holly Holm. I know I was on Barbosa's side, but if it's a good weight cut, it's Khabib, but I don't think it's going to be, so I'll go Barbosa. Jimmy Rivera over Lineker. I'll go Carla Esparza over Cynthia, and then I can't root against Condon over Magny.
Perfect. So we got two of the same picks. We got Carla and Condon. The other three were different.
Yeah, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. One of us has to be a successful picker.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Is there anything else we could talk about, or are we going to do a nice, quick little episode? Because technically when this airs, Austin's going to be in Hawaii or LA.
Little mini episode for Austin's Hawaiian vacation.
Yeah, and because I have to go do a show in the Bronx.
Book me in Hawaii. If any of our listeners are in Honolulu right now, hit me up on.
If you're listening to this, January 26th, 27th, I'll be at the Relapse Theater in Atlanta, and I'll be doing a secret little private show the day before in Asheville. I'm just saying that because I don't know where the location is. It's very much open to the public.
And as always, for me, Lucky Jack's Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. free show called Too Many Cooks. Me, Samantha Ruddy, JP McDade. Great lineups. A bunch of hosts. Some of the funniest guys in the city are on every
Not
Wednesday.
Me, though.
No, not me. Not either as co-hosts, but, other people.
Free show. Like I said, some of the funniest guys in the city. Austin,
that's a ballsy thing to say when I'm waving a knife around. Austin, what do you got? You'll be in Hawaii.
I'm going. If any of our listeners are on the West Coast, I'm gonna be
I
at
could
the.
actually guarantee you that 0 of our listeners.
Well,
are in
I'm
Hawaii,
saying it anyway because I want to brag.
Judging off our lack of analytics in any region besides New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania.
That's true. No, I'm doing shows in LA too. Come through to. Let me think. I'm gonna be at the Comedy Palace January 6th, and then I'm gonna be. Dan's rolling his eyes because I actually have gigs now, so Dan can fuck off.
We all get gigs when we go back home. Come on, wrap it up, buddy. I gotta go to the Bronx.
Follow me on Twitter. Yeah.
At Austin Locked Up, the tech guru and
bitch.
Mastermind of this podcast.
Don't give me credit for this. Oh, you. Okay.
Thank you. I'm Dan Lamort at Dan Lamort on Twitter. My tour dates are on danlamort.com. Thanks for enjoying this mini episode. If we had a Patreon page, we put it up there, but we don't, and we're cheap.
Thank you guys very much.
Gotta go, boo, boo. Let's go. We could definitely stop recording now. I'm just keeping going. Boo, 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 boo. Can you hear?
Thank you.